Winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. With this beautiful quote, students, a very warm welcome and a fresh morning to everyone. Hope you all will be safe and sound. Students, today we are going to study 11th chapter, that is verbs. What are verbs? Verbs are sometimes called action words or doing words. They are words that express an action, event, or a state of being. For example, sing, talk, jump. What are they? They are action words. We had another group, happen, rained, occur, or you can call it as occur. So, what are they? Event. We had one more subgroup, that is, exist, was. It talks about state of being. There are two main classes of verbs. One is main verbs and second is auxiliary verbs. They are also called as helping verbs. Main verbs. Now what are they? Main verbs are very large in number, while auxiliary verbs are a small group. Main verbs, for example, we have eat, study, run, accompany, erase, understand, modify, produced, etc. In the list of auxiliary verbs, we have B-type verbs. Let's see what are they. Be, do, have, will, can, may, shall, would, could, might, should, and must. Main verbs can occur independently or in combination with an auxiliary verb, whereas auxiliary verbs cannot stand independently and always occur in combination with main verbs. For example, Neha bought a candle stand. Second one, Stephen goes to school by car. In the first sentence, we have bought as our independent main verb, whereas in the second, goes acts as an independent main verbs. So here, bought and goes are independent main verbs. Whereas we have Neha will buy a candle stand. Second one, Stephen can go to school by car. Here we have the verbs which both main verb as well as auxiliary verb. When I said Neha will buy a candle stand, so will is a helping verb, that is an auxiliary verb, whereas buy is a main verb. In the second sentence, Stephen can go to school by car. In that, can is the helping verb and go is the main verb. The verbs be, do, and have can act as both main verbs and auxiliary verbs. The verbs be, do, and have can act as main verbs and auxiliaries. Here there is, student, a table in which how be-type verbs act is being shown as main verbs also as well as auxiliary verbs also. Students, when we talk about be, over here M is written in the first sentence, that is B-type verb it is. B-type verb are M, is, are, be, been, begin. So you should know that. There are still many. Now we are going further. How they are acting as main verb as well as auxiliary. We'll go in detail. I am Sunanda. Here am is the main verb. Please do the cleaning. Do is the main verb. And here third one, I had a cup of coffee a while ago. Here had is the main verb. Now main verbs are what, students? The verbs which can stand or can occur independently are called as main verbs. Whereas now we have an auxiliary verbs examples of be, do and have. I am painting the wall. Am plus painting. Am is the auxiliary verb and painting is the main verb. Next one, I do not like cricket. So do is the helping verb, that is auxiliary verb, and like is the main verb, and not is negative. To make the sentence negative or negation, here not is being used, but like is the main verb. Next one, I have written a short story. Have is the auxiliary verb, whereas written is the main verb. Students, auxiliary verbs cannot stand alone. They require main verb with it. Next, now we'll go in detail. It is of page number 57. We'll go detail regarding main verbs. What are main verbs? Main verbs are called full verbs because they can occur independently in a sentence. Main verbs can be either transitive or intransitive. When I say, students, transitives are those sentences which have object. It can have two objects also. Whereas intransitive, we don't have any object. Let's go in detail for transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs. Transitive verbs need an object to complete their meaning. Here some examples are given. Students, I shall explain in detail. First one, Sarayu cleans the room. Sarayu cleans what? The room. So the room is the object, whereas cleans is the transitive verb. Second one, Shabina brought some wooden bangles from mirror. Shabina brought what? Some wooden bangles. So here some wooden bangles will be your object and brought will be your transitive verb. Third sentence, Amrita gave what? Amrita gave Amrita gave me a cup of ice cream. Amrita gave what? A cup of ice cream. A cup of ice cream will be your direct object because what she is giving? A cup of ice cream. So here that will be your direct object. To whom? Ask the question same, to give. To whom? Then to me. So me will be indirect object. Why? Because if ice cream only won't be, then what she is going to give? Nothing. So here ice cream is the most important. So it will be the direct object, whereas me will be indirect object. Now let's go for detail for intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs do not need an object or any other element to complete their meaning. So here it doesn't require. Students, when you are doing transitive sentences, catch the verb and ask the question what, who or whom. And if you get the answer, then it is transitive. But if you'll ask the question where, when, then again you'll ask how. And if you get the answer, then that is intransitive. Let's see. Intransitive verbs do not need an object or any other element to complete their meaning. For example, Namita laughed. So here the sentence is over. So here we don't have any object only. Next one, all of us walked fast. All of us walked how? Fast. So here how I had used the question word. So here it is intransitive verb. Next one, the snow is falling. So what's happening? The snow is falling. So here it is intransitive because here we are using the be type verb is. You have to understand that also. Next one, and we are not having any object. Next one, some intransitive verbs take subject complements to complete their meaning but no objects. Let's see how subject complement is taken. Radha is how happy. So that is happy is subject complement. If the sentence was only Radha is, will it be complete? No. So here to understand what Radha is, so here we are using subject complement to complete the sentence. Complement means what? To complete the sentence, something is used, that is called complement. Second one, I feel excited. I feel how? Excited. So here excited is the subject complement and feel is the verb. Many verbs are transitive in one context and intransitive in another. Means what? Words can, some words are there which can be used in transitive also, which can be used in intransitives also. For example, he opened the door. He opened what? The door. So your opened is acting as transitive verb. Next one, they have finished the game. Now here they have finished what? The game. The game is the object and finished is transitive verb. Now in the same we have another example for open. Let's see, the door opened. Now here it is intransitive. Open is acting as intransitive verb. Next one, the game has finished. So finished is acting over here intransitive. Why? Because there is no object. So you should understand. Now on page number 58, students, we have regular and irregular verbs. Now here, most verbs form their past tense forms by adding d or ed to the base form. Such verbs are regular verbs. Now here, when you add ed, let's see. At that moment, a new word is being made. Let's see how. The verbs that form their past tense forms in other ways are called irregular verbs. Now let's see. First I'll read about regular verbs. Only we will be adding d or ed. So here examples are laugh, laughed, fade, faded. We had added only d in faded. So fade spelling is fade, but faded fade, only d you will be adding. Now here cry, cried. You had removed y and you had added ied. So here the rule of y goes on over here. Pray, prayed. You had added only ed. So here look, looked. Once again I am reading laugh, laughed, fade, faded, cry, cried, pray, prayed, look, looked. Next we have a group of irregular verbs. In irregular verbs, the vowels will be changed and sometimes the whole word only changes. Let's see how. Speak, spoke, write, wrote, forget, forgot, go, went. Directly the whole word only change. Make, made. So here let's go further. Now we have students auxiliary verbs. Now what are auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. They cannot occur independently without a main verb following them. So here they cannot stand or they cannot occur independently without the main verb. For example, Sumesh can speak Marathi. Sumesh here is the noun and can is the auxiliary verb. Speak is the main verb and again Marathi is the noun. So here we have two verbs in this particular sentence, that is can plus speak. Can is helping verb, that is auxiliary verb, and main verb we have speak. Now auxiliary verbs in English include what they include. First is primary verbs. They include modal auxiliaries also. Now we'll go in detail for that. Rule of primary verbs. Which are primary verbs? Primary verbs, that is B type verbs, do can be does also, do can be did also, do can be doing also, and many more. And have can be has also, had also. So here primary verbs be, do, have, which can also function as main verbs. Next one we have modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries, that is helping verbs, which express possibility, necessity, permission, and prediction to guess, to to guess about something, such as will, can, may, shall, would, could, might, should, and must. So these are modal auxiliaries. All auxiliary verbs are irregular verbs. That is, they form their past tense forms in irregular ways. What do? They form their past tense form in irregular ways. The primary verbs be, do, and have many grammatical uses like first one, making negative sentences. For example, I brushed my teeth. I did not brush my teeth. Second one, for making continuous tense. For example, I am brushing my teeth. So we are using here am plus brushing, that is simple present continuous tense. Next rule, for making the perfect tense. Example, I have brushed my teeth. So have plus brushed is used. Next one, we have modal auxiliaries which are used to express model, that is ideas like possibility, permission, etc., as shown in examples below. For example, first one, Satish can read Arabic. So here the ability of Satish is being shown, and so we will be using can. Next one, you can have the cake now. So here you are giving the permission, and so you'll use can. Third one, you could feed the dog in the evening. So here you are giving a suggestion that yes, in the evening you can feed the dog. So could you will be using. Next one, could you pass me the sugar please? So here you are giving, please you had used, it's a request. So you'll be using could. Next one, Sudha may come tomorrow. So here it's possibility that she may come or she may not come. So here next one. So you'll underline may. Next one, Rana might not bring the scooter back. Yes, possibility is that he may not bring. So when you are using for past tense, you'll be using might instead of may. So here, next one, may I use the bathroom? That is, you're asking a permission, and so you'll be using may. Next one, Anna will buy me a new hat. So here you'll use will to indicate future tense. Next one, Albert would often watch the sky when he was a child. So here you are talking about a past habit about Albert, that he used to watch the sky, and so you'll be using past it is, and so you'll be using would instead of will. Next one, you must bring my notebook tomorrow. So here it's an obligation that you have taken, so tomorrow you should bring. Next one, you should tidy your room before the guest arrive. Tidy, that is make neat and clean. So here it is suggestions. Obligations means thankful. So here students, we have completed our this chapter. Study well, go through the chapter, underline all the helping verbs, that is auxiliary verbs, as well as main verbs, and understand them. Thank you.